Hi, kitty. What are you doing? Hi. Hi, sweetie. Hi, sweetie. How are you? Now that's a good kitty. Yeah, you let me pet you. That's what I wanted. Yeah, you're my buddy. You're a good kitty cat. Yes, you sure are. You know what you're going to be on YouTube? Yeah. Hopefully hundreds of millions of people will see you. Yeah. Yeah. Hi there, YouTube fans. This is Matt of Post April 6th YouTube channel. Well, I spent a few minutes petting my kitty, and then I started doing a YouTube vlog intro that really wasn't good at all, and I deleted it and saved the rest of what you just saw just a second before. And then what happened was a friend of mine called me, and we talked for a few minutes, and now I am back here again. Okay, so why don't I talk about what was going on in the last 3 days. At 1:30 p.m. Saturday, the day before the Super Bowl, I was really busy at the grocery store that I had to work at. I rang up so many people, I can't even begin to count. It's in the several hundreds of how many people I rang up. And I really shouldn't say this, but I'm going to go ahead and take a risk and say it. Money-wise, as far as all the sales altogether that I rang up on Saturday, was probably easily over $75,000. Yeah, 100 plus 300 plus 200 plus 75 bucks plus 85 plus 150 plus 350 plus 250 plus 122 plus 16 bucks, you know, every sales figure from, I would say, about $8 and change to over $300. Yeah, it could easily tally up to over $70,000. And you got several hundred customers. Oh yeah. Now, I worked an 8.5 hour shift, and due to the fact I got took a half hour lunch break, which I did, I didn't get any overtime. I mean, that's state law. That's the way things are. And then I came home Saturday, and I was really tired. I just sat and watched things on my smart TV through a hotspot signal where I could see a bunch of really good quality stuff on YouTube. Instead of it being about like this, it's like bigger than this on a TV. You know what I mean? And then the next day, I worked from 2:30 p.m. until 10 p.m. and whoa, I was really busy that day too. Not as busy as the day before, but a close second. And what happened was I got the groceries that I needed, and after I paid for them and put them in my reusable Twist and Shout Records shopping bag, or tote bag, right at 9:59, I hot-footed to the thing shaped about like this, where you clock in and you clock out. And I clocked out, and then I walked real fast, and I grabbed my bag, and I go out the door that's already locked, and somebody locked it right behind me. And I really walked as fast as I could to the RTD bus stop because, see, I did it that way because I wanted to save some money. And right when I get to the stop, I can see the bus coming, and I go, do what I got to do through the RTD My Ride app so I can get a local discount 3-hour pass ticket. And I got to work, and I got home, and I tell you, I did a few things, but I was still pretty tired. And then what happened was the next day, Monday, I slept in good. I got some good. Well, no, actually, I take that back. That's not true at all. I kept going in and out of sleepiness, and finally, at about, I think it was just a little. It was just a little before the alarm clock was supposed to go up, about 10:55 a.m., something like that. I go into the kitchen and I start, washing the dishes and getting that all done. And at one point I hear the from the alarm clock, so I go rushing over to the alarm clock and I shut the alarm clock off. And I get back in the kitchen, and if I wasn't cooking, I was near the end of doing the dishwashing and then start doing the cooking. And then I cook the breakfast. And the one thing I was supposed to do that I didn't do until today was I was supposed to send out a package that I already had prepaid postage on, postage I got through eBay shipping. But I did not turn that into to my local post office because I didn't have time. And then what I did was I showered and shaved and got dressed. Oh, good. My voice is getting so hoarse. I'm gonna have to step away, and I'll take care of that pretty quick. Okay, I'm back. I took care of the hoarse voice. I made a brand new cup of coffee of this. Now, it's not just the coffee mug itself, it's what's inside the coffee mug. What it is it's Boyer's Rocky Mountain. It's a dark roast coffee that is very good. Yeah, the grocery store that I'm working for, they have it on clearance because they're going to discontinue selling it because it's not selling very well at their store. Which doesn't make sense to me, but, what can I do? I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to go, no, you don't argue with the boss like that. You don't. Okay, so then what I did was, after I showered and shaved, like I've already said before, and got dressed, I made sure to, as quickly as possible while I was in the process of getting dressed, to get an Uber ride set up as quickly as possible. And then what happened is at really good timing, about I think 12:31, 12:33, 12:35, something like that. The Uber driver showed up, and I made sure to get in the car quick. And then what I did was I got to work about 8 minutes early. And due to the fact that the long, stainless steel on the inside and white on the outside, hot and cold, drink dispenser, I lost it, and then I got a cheap one at Dollar Tree for $1.25, $1.50. I lost that one too, so I've been buying some bottled water. So anyways, as soon as I got in the door at the grocery store after I after the Uber driver dropped me off, I made sure to quickly buy some, I think it's Dasani or Aquafina water, and I paid for it. And then I rushed upstairs and I got on my apron, and then I rushed back downstairs, and then I clocked in right on time. No, actually, I correct that too. I chatted with a new coworker that we just took on. I chatted with him for a little over 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I look at my watch. I'm like, whoa, I got to get, I said to him, hey, I got to get downstairs. I got to clock in. I'll talk to you later. Which I rushed downstairs and I got clocked in. And then I went over to my supervisor, and she was happy. She goes, meeting, get on register 10. And I told her, I said, hey, I'm sorry about 5 minutes late. I got carried away talking to a new coworker who's a really neat guy. He says, no, that's fine. No, blah, blah, blah. And then I got on my register, and I did quite a lot of ringing people up. The good thing about working on yesterday, Monday, was I was only on a 4-hour shift from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. At one point, I was going to try to get something to eat, but then I thought, nah, you better not, because the one thing you want, you're going to have to wait forever for it, and you're going to have hardly any time to eat it. You know, I'd have to wait at the deli to get it, because the deli clerk was helping 2 other people. So I just went over to where they had the donuts. I took the donut that I liked. I paid for it. I rushed upstairs. I ate it. And then I come back downstairs after my 15-minute break is over. And I get to the register I was supposed to be at. And then before I clocked out, one of the managers took me into the private cashier booth. And I wasn't in any trouble. She just had to go over some things with me, and I had to initial and sign that, you know, make sure not to ever do this under any circumstances unless a supervisor does it under your cashier number or user ID. And then I chatted with her for just a little bit, and then I go back and stand there for a couple of minutes, and the head front end manager says, yeah, you can go now. Thanks for coming in. And I clocked out, and then I went over and I waited for the next 35 bus, RTD bus, that was going to take me to my favorite place. And you know what I bought at my favorite place? Well, I'm going to go get it, and you're going to see it. It's this. It's called Raspberry Creek, and it's from the exact same place that I used to go and buy maple walnut. Maple walnut is gone. The company that used to manufacture it and process it and distribute it, I think it's called Sutcliffe, they don't make it anymore. And so I bought one of these. And here's what I did just before I went into the shop itself and got this. After I waited for the Route 35 bus that was going westbound, I waited for about 15 minutes. I got right on the bus, and I scanned my RTD MyRide app after I got the 3-hour pass QR code thing. And then I took that all the way to the stop I was supposed to get off on, which is just a little past Broadway and Girard on a street called, I think it's called Inglewood Parkway or something like that. And then after I got off, I made sure to wait my turn at the crosswalks so I could get over to Rico's. And then I went into Rico's and I ordered immediately, as soon as I got there, and looked at the menu. Sausage Hero hot grilled sub sandwich. And That was good. And I was really hungry. I needed it. So then what I did after I was done eating, I went over to Edwards and I immediately went into the humidor and I picked out a CAO or Chow. It's called a Surplus Maduro Robusto cigar. And then I come back to the register, and a clerk named the doc, he rang me up, and he also got out one of these. And then I stayed in the front shop area instead of going back into the smoker's lounge. And the owner, Nick, was there, and Nick and this guy that he's got this fairly new, we chatted away and we really talked and just had a lot of fun. The thing was, though, I only stayed there a little more than an hour, and at a little after 7 o'clock on the dot, I left with the rest of the people that were in the smoker's lounge. And then what I did was, we went out, me and two other guys, after we introduced ourselves to each other. We went to the patio area, and we all three smoked cigars and chatted for a few minutes. And then at about approximately 7:18, no, I take that back. About roughly 7:22, roughly. I walked to the stop where you're supposed to go to catch the 35. And then once the bus comes along, I get on, and I take that all the way to the area near where I was by a car. But I didn't get off on South Tamarack Drive. I got off on the stop that's called 7600 East Hamden. And then I walked up the street, and then I go into the parking lot of CVS Pharmacy. And I went in there for a very good reason. It wasn't just to get a refill. I had to have a little bit of a discussion with the manager that was there. And I said to her clearly, I said, look, I know that you cannot give me a full refund because, the approval, the pending approval for the refills is still pending. So all I'm asking for is for 3 days worth of emergency funds, because I know a full refund, I'm not going to get it. He says, okay, as long as we understand each other. He says, okay, so you say you need 9 tablets? Is that what you're going to need for 3 days? And I said, yes. He says, okay, give me a couple of minutes, and I'll get that filled up for you. And then I just stand there and wait, and then about 2 to 3 minutes later, she comes out and she comes up to the checker stand and she hands it to me. And then I go over to the not retail. I leave the store and I go over to the RTD stop that is, instead of the southwest side where I was hit, it's just a little further away. It's on the southeast side of the street corner, and it's right on Hamden. It's about, let's see where the actual stop is, and the street corner of Tamarack and Hamden. It's approximately about 50 to 60 feet away. Actually, somewhere between 40 and 60 feet away, now that I really think about it. And I just stood there and I waited. And then when the bus comes by, I just rebooted the smartphone, because the app would come up, but it would just come up with this blank blue screen. Because I had to reboot the computer, and then just right as he coming up and pulling up on him, and I was. And then I scanned. I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't." And he was really cool about it. He says, "No, it's okay." So I go and I sit down, until I get to the stop that is, well, I don't like to say the street name, but I'll tell you this much. It's near the cemetery. And then I get off at that stop, and even though I got to do a considerable distance of walking of probably a quarter of a mile at least to get to my actual apartment building. And then I get in there, and my kitty is sure happy to see me, because I think what was going on was she was really hungry. And I fed her. And then I did a few other things while I was in there. And at one point, after me watching TV and after I had a cup of coffee, I was just like going, I was really yawning, and I was blinking my eyes like that. And then what I did was I refilled my CPAP kit tank. And I take off my glasses, and I turn off the lights, and I put my CPAP mask on, and I take a nap for, I would say, at least 45 minutes to an hour. And that did a world of good. That really did. And then I stayed up and I watched a lot of stuff. One of the things that I did before I called it a night and went to sleep was I watched part 1, 2, 3, and 3 of me restoring the Hariel's pipe. Yep. And then I took some melatonin to make sure to get to sleep, and then I slept today until at least 11:45 in the morning, and I wake up and I'm going, because I'd slept so deep that I was groggy at first. But then what I did was, I do what I usually do. I went into the kitchen, I scrubbed the dishes, got everything clean, and started cooking. And this time, because I'm just sick of bacon, I grilled 4 sausage links. 4 sausage links. And some over easy eggs. Or no, not over easy, scrambled eggs. The traditional scrambled eggs. Golly! Been working too much. And I grilled some hash browns. So it's, instead of 33H, it's 4-3H. Yeah. It was still really good, though. And then I did some things for a bit. And then I showered and shaved. And then what I do is, after I get all dressed up, I start writing a letter to the principal, the current principal of Arapahoe High School, because I want to talk with her about coming and touring Arapahoe High School. But I know I got to talk with her first, and I got to show proof that I am a graduate. And then I was going to send a guy I know, who's a very good minister, a birthday card, but I couldn't find any birthday cards. So then I was getting really, really hungry. I said, "Oh my God, I got to get out of here! I got to get out of here! I got to get to the post office and turn those things in, and then I'm gonna go eat. At Santiago's." I said, "I got to eat something before I faint." So I was really feeling weak, and my stomach was really growling. So then what I did was I left my apartment, went into the post office, made sure to ask them to put a fragile sticker on the package that's shaped about like this. And then I walked to Santiago's, and I had a nice Mexican burger. It's a burger with a little bit of refried bean, and there's a tortilla wrapped over it. And it's smothered with green chili and lettuce and tomato. I mean, it really hit the spot, because I was very hungry, as I've already said before. Here's what else was going on at that time. A pipe that I wanted, that was it was a tinderbox, I think it's Verona, shaped 309 Rustica. It had a green lucite stem on it. Oh, I lost! And that was after losing 2 other auctions for a pipe, instead of buy it now. And then I put in a bid on a Kamoy. Oh, I lost that one too. Yeah. And this, and I discovered this right after I went into Walmart, and I got 2 different frozen entrees and some AMC Theater popcorn. And then what happened is after I realized I lost on the Kamoy, I put in a bid on a Jerry Perry freehand pipe. And then I put in the bid, and then I keep walking home, and when I'm almost home, I look. And just when I thought I got it in the bag, I'm going to win, I got beat again. And I was like, cuss, 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 cuss. I mean, I didn't literally cuss like that, but I said a really nasty, the F word, because I was upset. And I was just thinking in my mind, cuss, 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 cuss. But what happened was I pressed on the app, and there was another Jerry Perry freehand pipe made in 1984. This one wasn't quite as attractive as the 1988 one that I lost. I lost out on the auction. But I watched it, and I'm just sticking in there, and I'm just watching this thing like a hawk till it's over. I won. Yep. I won. Yes. And then I go down, or I go over to the mailbox, and I get the stuff, and then I walk down the steep hill to my apartment building. And I go in there, and I made a cup of coffee, and I was doing some other filming, and, well, I've already explained that. Well, I hope you found all this information pretty interesting, but it's really time for me to go now. So thank you, everyone, for watching this vlog, because it's going to get even better. Goodbye now. Thank you very much. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please, please, please do that. Thank you.